Welcome back to the tutorial for the Champion Tree project in New Canaan. We're talking about our final measurement that we're going to be taking for trees, and that is the crown spread. Now, for the Champion Tree measurements that are used nationwide, we actually use what's called the quarter average crown spread. And we do this by first taking an average of the crown spread using two measurements, and then just dividing that by 4. And so the way we find our crown spread is we first just take a look at the tree, and we try to find the longest dimension that it's spread out in. And so that might be pretty skinny if you're looking at trees in the woods. Branches might not go out that far, or it could be incredibly widespread if you have a tree that's in a park or something like that. And so we're here with our Scots pine, and if we take a look at the tree, it looks like the crown is spread the longest dimension this way. So using the pace measurements that we talked about earlier when we were measuring our tree height, we're just going to measure the length of the crown spread using our pace. And so to do that, we're just going to go to the furthest edge of that longest spread. And it doesn't matter if the longest spread is in line with the trunk of the tree. In cases where trees are sort of leaning over, you might not be anywhere near the trunk of the tree. That's totally fine. But in this case, our longest spread kind of goes right to the side of the trunk of the tree. So that's the way I'm going to walk, and I'm just going to count my paces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I've reached the far end of the crown in that single straight line that I was walking in. I counted 18 steps, which is 9 paces. I know that my pace is 5 feet, 9 times 5 is 45. So that's what's called my long crown, my long crown spread. And on our data sheet, you'll see under the crown spread measurements, we've put an L and a C. And so we're gonna mark that first crown spread right here. And so that's where I would put 45 feet for this tree. The next thing that we're gonna be measuring is the cross crown spread. And this is where it can get a little tricky, but really just think about the line that you just walked, and all you want to do is find something perpendicular to that, which is the next widest tree, or the next widest canopy spread. And so again, I'm looking at the tree, I see the branches go pretty far out in that direction, so that's one spot I want to hit, and I've got to make sure that the line that I'm walking is perpendicular to the first line that I just walked. So we're going to come over here. Right about here is sort of the furthest extent of the crown. And again, the relation of where I am to the trunk, it does not matter at all. We just want to make sure that we're walking exactly perpendicular to that first line and the maximum crown spread in that direction. So I'm here at the edge of the tree. I'm going to count my steps. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14. So 14 steps, 7 paces. Again, my pace is 5 feet, so that's a 35-foot cross spread. Now, this is where there's a little bit of math, really the most math that you have to do for this project. To get the quarter average crown spread, as I said, that's a measurement of the average crown spread divided by 4 to get the quarter. The easy way to do that is to just simply take your two measurements and add them together. So in my case, I had 35 and 45 feet, so that would be 80. And then I'm just going to divide that by 8. And so in my case, that's 10. So the quarter average crown spread for my tree is 10 feet. And we've provided you with a quick sample here. So on the data sheet, we have one that's 210 feet, a much bigger tree, and a cross spread of 190 feet. We add those two together, divide by 8, and we get 50. And so that's the sample on the data sheet. The important thing to remember is to take your pace measurement before you go out into the field so that you can just convert to feet in the field very quickly. And the other important thing to remember is that your cross spread should never be longer than your long spread, because the long crown spread, by definition, is the longest crown spread, and the cross is just whatever perpendicular sort of second longest crown spread exists. So that's how we measure the quarter average crown spread. Stay tuned for one more video and we'll show you how to add all these together and get your total points for your champion tree.